Hello, welcome back to the Mark Janard Show, the tech show about hacking. And internet censorship does not make you or me or they or whoever safe. It does not. And in this video, I'm going to break down why internet censorship doesn't make any of us safe. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We're going dark. So when the internet was originally created, it was meant to be a utopic space where people could communicate and learn free of restrictions. But depending on what country you find yourself in, the internet may not be so free. Like I said, in this video, we're tackling the complicated topic of internet censorship, what it is, how it works, and most importantly, what you can do to avoid it. What is internet censorship? Internet censorship is the practice of prohibiting or suppressing certain online content. The content can be anything, but it typically includes things like porn, social media, news media, foreign websites. And where censorship happens, censorship doesn't just take place at the government level, with countries like China banning foreign websites under the Great Firewall. It can also happen at home, at work, and with the original source, your internet service provider. However, depending on where it comes from, internet censorship can look any number of ways. At home censorship typically comes in the form of parental controls, in which parents use blacklists and keyword blocking to keep their kids safe online. Blacklists are lists of websites that are filtered out. These databases are constantly being updated for the latest inappropriate web content. Keyword blocking, on the other hand, hides pages with certain keywords from view, controlling what kids see online. Parents can also use firewalls to hide content, which can be in the form of hardware or software. At work, have you ever used the internet for personal reasons for work? I haven't, and I don't encourage you to do it. Don't do it. If so, you are part of 43% of workers who exaggerate their actual time working. That's why businesses often take it upon themselves to censor the internet, not only to block inappropriate content, but also to increase productivity. Many businesses use firewalls to block either particular web pages or entire domains. So did you know, aside from being a poor use of work time, inappropriate content viewed in the workspace could be grounds for lawsuits? For example, if someone watches something bad at work, it could leave the company liable for that whatever you did. So that's that example. Internet service providers, finally, censorship can also occur at the ground level. The internet service providers themselves, although otherwise known as ISPs, theoretically ISPs can block certain websites from view. However, net neutrality would mandate that ISPs can't favor any particular company or website in the US without net neutrality. ISPs could charge a fee for usage of bandwidth, meaning that those websites would load faster. However, some people argue that this is a form of censorship, and it's a topic widely debated in the US, but more on that, later in the video. So how does internet censorship work? Just as eggs can be served in many different ways, internet censorship can occur using different methods. But one thing that remains the same, it's usually served cold. So we have DNS tampering. DNS tampering is a technique that hackers can use to access DNS records. Once they gain access, they can make changes and let themselves into entire networks. This could lead to viruses or the collection of information for identity theft. FYI, DNS stands for domain name servers, and it's basically the names of the websites you visited, or the domain names, which stand for IP addresses. So now let's talk about blocking of IP addresses. A common method of internet censorship is the blocking of IP addresses, the code of numbers which tell your computer where to actually go when you type in a domain name. Certain IP addresses can be blocked on an ad hoc basis or through region typically referred to as geolocation or geo-blocking. So then now we have filtering keywords. Commonly used in parental controls, keyword filter blocks, you guessed it, certain keywords, either automatically or manually. Next, we have filtering packets. Rather than filtering by domain names or keywords, some firewalls make their processing decisions based on, we have protocols, we have ports, we have network addresses, we have source IP addresses, we have destination IP addresses, right? So instead of the firewall filtering for malicious traffic as it typically does, these filters are solely based on the source and destination IP addresses. Access will be given to known IP addresses and vice versa. We have traffic shaping, which is otherwise known as packet shaping, and traffic shaping is a way of managing bandwidth that lets certain applications perform better than others. While prioritized apps will run with no problems, apps that aren't prioritized will be throttled or slowed down. Last but not least, port number blacklisting is when an ISP blocks traffic based on its transport protocol and port number solely, ignoring IP addresses. This allows for the blocking of entire applications, but internet censorship looks very different in different countries. Freedom House, which is a non-profit organization that advocates for media freedom and freedom of expression, compiles an annual list of the world's countries ranked for their level of internet censorship. Canada, which is our neighbor to the north. Canada has no controls on internet usage whatsoever, whether it's religious, political, or social media content. We have Iceland, which boasts high internet access rates, few restrictions, and even expanding laws protecting whistleblowers. And now we're gonna go talk about countries with strict censorship. We have China, just doesn't have a great wall, they have a great firewall, which countries the internet usage of anyone in their country. It filters out any popular foreign services along with all traffic that comes into the country, greatly limiting what people see. So here's a pro tip: traveling to China, connect to a VPN and you'll be able to see all of the content you want, even if it's foreign. So Russia now, the COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in even more censorship than ever before. For example, their social monitoring app forces Moscow residents to prove they were quarantined or they would face a fine. Even in normal circumstances, Russia blocks a ton of foreign websites, and Vladimir Putin's proposed sovereign internet could make the internet in Russia even more disconnected. So, what's going on with internet censorship today? As misinformation and foreign tampering of social media have become hot button issues, internet censorship is at the forefront of debate surrounding freedom of expression. Most recently, in May 2020, Donald Trump put out an executive order that would prevent social media companies from censoring Americans. However, this order wasn't followed, as these companies are protected by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. This act prevents social media companies from liability for user-created content. These companies are also allowed to restrict access or availability of materials that are, obscene, lewd, lascivious. Peter, put that on the screen. Lascivious, filthy, excessively violent, harassing, otherwise objectionable. Basically, as long as the company acts in good faith, they are allowed to censor their users' content. As of October 2020, Section 230 continues to allow social media companies to effectively censor their users' content, making the executive order null. So, how to avoid internet censorship? If you are being censored at home, at work, well, let me not say at work, because you should be. If you're censored at home or by your ISP, by your country, there are a number of workarounds you can use to gain more freedom online. Some are free, some are paid, but all of them will take only a few minutes to set up and will greatly increase your protection from censorship. We have VPNs, which are virtual private networks you can connect to that will encrypt your websites visited and device IP addresses. By hiding your web activity in a tunnel, you'll be able to get around website restrictions. Now we have a secure browser, right? Secure browsers like Tor essentially do the same thing as VPNs, which is hide your IP addresses and clear your cookies just as soon as you close website tabs. Of all your activity will be encrypted, right? All of your activity will be encrypted 3 times, ensuring that you'll be safe even if you visited restricted websites. So don't use incognito mode. Many people think that incognito mode will automatically erase all of your web history, but that's not the case. While the data will be deleted locally, your ISP will still be able to see your activities online if there's no other security measure in place like a VPN. So while incognito mode can be useful from hiding your web activity from the people you share devices with, it's not a good choice for those that want privacy from their ISP. Now we have proxy, and proxy servers are similar to VPNs in that they hide IP addresses, allowing for more online freedom. To see how to change your settings to create a proxy server, you can just go on Google and just Google it up. Anything, go on Google. Okay. So let's do a little recap. You can use your internet for just about anything, whether it's researching for a school project, playing a fun game, or reading about the latest celebrity gossip. But it turns out that freedom isn't free, especially if you're in a country like China or Russia. However, with a few simple workarounds, you can ensure that your internet freedom stays just that. So what do you think about this, what we talked about today? Please let me know in the comment section below. I really appreciate you watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell.